When we get together as a group of beautiful souls, we have the opportunity to not only assist in healing what we're meant to heal individually, but we get to assist with healing on a collective level as well. Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode. I'm so excited you are here. I recently came back from our live Akashic Record Retreat. I hosted in San Diego, and it's for a program called Sacred Awakening. I'm an Akashic Record Master Teacher, and one of the things that I love to do is teach people how to access their soul's information that can assist their soul in having a self-discovery, evolving, and be able to ask questions on demand to their guardians of their Akashic Records. And so anytime we do these live retreats, there are always big ahas and also just themes that come up. And I thought it would be fun to do an episode on this. And one of the big things that's always a big takeaway, no matter what I'm doing when it comes to lives, is that community is everything. That who is meant to be there was there, and who was not was meant to be exactly where they were at as well. And when we get together as a group of beautiful souls, we have the opportunity to not only assist in healing what we're meant to heal individually, but we get to assist with healing on a collective level as well. And so we always end up doing this really beautiful group healing that has to do with something with the city or the nature or the ocean or something like that. And this year we ended up clearing a lot of stuff within the city itself. And so it was really, really neat to do that. And it was such an honor. And I always get so much joy out of meeting people in person, because there's something magical when you get to actually see someone face to face and not just be a floating head on a screen. And you get just a different sense of connection as well. And for me, I absolutely love this, but sometimes this is the first time that someone's ever come to a retreat. And so it's such an honor to witness and see that. And it's pretty amazing. So one of my other takeaways is that I love being underground and I miss that. This is kind of a silly one, but the retreat space that we held was held underground. It was in the basement level. And I'm a Midwest girl, so I grew up with basements, but also moved to the South, also moved to the West Coast, and basements aren't a thing. And there's something really grounding about being in a basement. I just absolutely love it. And it felt just like we were being held in Mother Earth's arms. Like she was just like holding us. And it was so grounding and so beautiful. And I absolutely loved every moment of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like if you've never had a basement before, you've never been in a basement, check out places that have basements. I fortunately do have a partial basement in my house, but it's not something I end up spending a lot of time in. So that was something that I realized that I really like. My body loves that. And it was just something really beautiful about that. Another big takeaway was our theme for this retreat. Every time we do a retreat, there's always some sort of different theme, and this one was about courage and confidence and curiosity and clarity and so much more. And for me, having this topic, it sounds so generic, but it's not. Like, courage and confidence is required in all areas of our life. And if we don't have the courage and confidence to show up for ourselves, for our spirituality, to show up for ourselves, for our health, to show up for ourselves, for our relationships or our family or our fun or our money or wealth, our careers or our business, it is a requirement. Owning your power and having the confidence to step into your humble power and use that power in a way that serves your highest good and serves the highest good is pretty amazing. And so this one was really, it's such a simple topic, but it's so complex. And when the guardians of the Akashic Records were like, this is the topic, I'm like, are you sure? Because to me, it just felt so simple, but it's not. It's so not. And it's such a complex topic that requires us to check in where our confidence level is, to check in where our courage is, to have that curiosity, to give ourselves permission to own our power in such a beautiful way. But this also requires us to check in where our self-worth and where we're at and where and how we're being fulfilled. And so my big takeaway for this, and to summarize it, is just because it's a simple topic doesn't mean it's not profound. And just because it's a simple topic doesn't mean that we can't go deeper into it. And the depth in which we go is totally up to that person and that person only. As someone that shows up and teaches and loves to talk about certain things, this rule applies to me and applies to anybody that's showing up. I want to go deep because I'm dishonoring myself if I don't. And simple doesn't mean that it's not going to go deep. Depth is in the eye of the beholder. Depth is in the soul in which it chooses to go into. Let me say that slightly different because I said that a little funky. Your soul wants depth. And in order to have depth, you have to have the heart, the courage, and the confidence to look where you have not looked before, or to go deeper into what you know you've uncovered, but there's another layer to it, and that you're willing to uncover infinite number of layers if it means that you are going to really, really show up the way you're meant to show up. Like show up beautifully, beautifully, beautifully. Another big takeaway that I had from this retreat is that I used to talk a lot about crystalline energy. I still do. Like I still talk about it, but I stopped talking about it the way that I used to. And the depth in which I used to talk about it and how I would talk about it and how I would infuse the crystalline energy into things. And I still infuse the crystalline energy into things, but I can still have so much more fun with it. And so this retreat, I was guided to make some really beautiful grids, and we'll show those here so you can take a look at them. I used to do this all the time, and I used to emphasize what the grids were for and why they were for that, and I stopped doing it, and I don't know why. Sometimes we just stop doing things, and then it comes back into our awareness, and I'm like, I want to bring that back. And so we brought in different grids that supported the topic and the themes, and I had so much fun making these grids and working with the crystalline energy and highlighting the crystalline energy. It was just so much fun, and I really want to actually start talking about crystal stuff more. It's so funny, like people are like, hey, like you should really teach this. I'm like, I actually have a course on crystals. I don't really ever promote it. And so I think I'm gonna do something special on that coming up soon, just because the crystals want to be talked about, they want to be shared, and there's something really magical when we work with crystals because they're little light beings that want to support us in attracting or repelling certain energies, certain frequencies to support us in whatever area and whatever manifestation or intention that we have to give that crystal for a job. And grids work the same way as well. They want to support us in a particular topic, and we can do that by working with the crystals, and they amplify the frequency, the intention, the manifestation, the energy, and they diffuse what is not necessary as well. And so I'm going to be talking a lot more about crystals just because I think it'll be fun. So that was one of my other takeaways. And another takeaway that I had at this retreat was that time is speeding up. Like, time is speeding up so fast. Like, so fast. This was the fastest retreat I've ever been on. I've ever hosted. Like, the time just went so quickly. I'm like blinking and it's lunchtime. I'm blinking, it's 5 o'clock. And I've never had time speed up like that. And so that's something I'm going to be sitting with. Maybe I'll do a topic episode on time speeding up, because it can really, if you're not expecting it, it can feel really strange, or it can feel jarring. It can feel different. It can feel all sorts of different things. I could have stayed there for another 3 more days doing the retreat. So time is definitely speeding up. It feels like it's speeding up, and it's definitely impacts us. For me, with the time feeling like it was moving really quickly, I did love that we were underground, and I felt super grounded and super connected into my body. Because if I wasn't super connected into my body, it would have felt really jarring and taxing. And so, yeah, like that was an interesting takeaway. I don't think I've ever shared that one before. So it was very, very fascinating to me that the time just went so quickly. The last takeaway, which there are so many other ones, but this is just the last one I'm being guided to share, that no matter what is going on, being where we're meant to be is exactly where we're meant to be. And I just recently had a family member pass away just 5 days before I left for the retreat. So 1 week before I actually started, 6 days before I started hosting the retreat, I had a family member pass away. And so it was really hard, yet I knew that that's where I was supposed to be. And so showing up was exactly timed divinely for that. And I know that this family member that passed away knew exactly what he was doing when he passed, and why he chose to pass exactly when he did. And I'm actually going to do an episode on grief, just because this is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I think grief is a part of the human experience, and it's a very complicated thing. And I want to do a topic on that. So everything works on divine timing. And even though I was grieving, and I could recognize exactly what stage I was in, I was meant to be at the retreat, and I was meant to be hosting it, because it was so darn healing for me to have that space, to be in that. And now I get to process it outside of the retreat exactly the way I'm meant to process it. So yeah, those are my takeaways. If you've never been to a retreat, highly recommend it. And you want to find someone that you trust and that you want to spend some time with. If you are looking to come to a retreat sometime, we'll be hosting the next one again next year. And these are open to our Sacred Awakening students. And so it's always a lot of fun. And I can't wait until we host the next one. And then I'm also doing an intimate retreat for a small number of people next year as well. And that one completely sold out, and I'm like shocked by it. So I can't wait. So if you're interested in a retreat, you can check out my website for more information about Sacred Awakening. This These retreats are usually open only to Sacred Awakening students, and I'll be hosting another one next year. We're also hosting an intimate retreat next year as well, so we have a bigger one and a smaller one, and I might be bringing out a different retreat. I used to have a retreat that was open to everyone, and I'm kind of playing with the idea if I want to do that again. So if you're interested, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Comment on this podcast or the video if you're watching it on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. I so appreciate you. Share this with a friend, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.